Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you just confirm if you can hear me loud and clear in the chats? Let me know if you can hear me. So, like, basically today we're going to be considering Django views. So we're going to look into Django views. Last of his hours basically talked about um starting the Django project, right? So today we're going to talk about Django views. Like, what are Django views? Basically, Django itself is an MVT framework, right? It's an MVT framework that is models, views, and templates. And the views are like a function. It can be a function, it can be a class, right? That basically takes a web request and returns a web response. So the response can be in any format. It can be an HTML content. It can be 404. It can be an image. It can be a JSON data, basically anything, right? So, and the view also contains like logic that is necessary to process that request, to process the request and returns the response. So let's take, for example, you want to return the current time, right? The current time, you basically write a view function and you get the time and then you return a response. Let's see if it's something we can quickly do. So basically, views is like a response. So we want to get current time. So we do current time. That's the function name. Basically, you can name that anything. And we have to pass in requests. And to get the current time, it's basically now equals to date time dot date time now. So we have to import date time, right? And so let's just return this. Okay, so let's return this in HTML. So we can have an HTML tag this way, right? That renders the current time, and then return the response as HTML. So we have to import this from Django.htp, import response, right? So this view basically what it's doing is takes the current time and returns an HTML of this, right? So, and we can access our view from a URL, right? So we can access the view from URL. All we just need to do is to direct the paths to this view. So let's go to our project URLs and let's do this from attendees. Let's import current time. Okay, so this is attendees, right? So let's import current time and create our path for it, right? So basically, all we just did is we created a view function and created a view function that is returning the current time as an HTML body, and we routed it to this particular URL. So if we go to URL, development server, which is localhost port 8000/time, we are going to get this response, right? We're going to get this response. So basically, restart our server, then go to the browser, right? And you go to /time. So as we can see, the response on the page is the current time in my location, right? This is the current time. It is now, it returns the date and then the current time, right? So basically, a function, a view is used to process like a request and a response. So that's like basically what it does. And there are different types of views. There are class-based views. There are the example I have here is the function-based view, right? So let's do a full-fledged example. Like let's just create something that can relate to. So I'm going to create a model class, right? I'm going to create a model class attendee, right? And I'm going to add few information. So okay, basically first name, let's just leave this first name and last name, right? So first name and last name, that is our model class. And whenever we create a model like that, then we have to make migrations and migrate. But before that, we need to check our settings if we have added the attendees application, because that is how. So we have to add our application into installed apps. That is this app, attendees app that was created. So we just do that by doing this, right? So that means we've added our application. Okay. So next thing now is to make migration and then migrate. So Python manage.py make migrations, and those will be created on attendee. And the next thing is to Python manage.py migrates, right? So yeah, basically we can now see. Let's register our application in the admin from all right. So basically, we are registering our application in the attendee under we are registering our models in admin, right? We're registering our models in the admin so we can access it from our admin, right? So basically, I want to add some data to attendees, but before I can actually log into admin, so to access the admin, you have to go to /admin. And before I can log into this, I have to create the admin details, right? So I can basically do that from my terminal. So I just need to run Python manage.py, create super user, and the username will be admin at office.com, password again, and boom. So we've created our admin user. Now we can go to our browser and log in, right, with that credential. So once we log in, we can see we have the attendee model registered here. So basically we want to add few data. From here we can add data to the model. So first name, so let me just add few, like test data, save and add another one, save and add another one, save and add another one. Okay. All right, so let me just add about 5 users. Oh, I think we have 5 users. So we can see I added 5 users, right? 5 attendees. And now what I want to do basically is I'll go to my view function and write a logic that will return all of these 5 users on a web page, right? On a page to return the 5 users to a page. So basically what I want to do now is, let me just comment it. So we want to get all attendees from the PB and return them to a template, right? Cool. So how do we get all our attendees from the database? We just write a query. So the first thing we want to do is to import. So there's a question on YouTube. Hendrix says, how is your VS Code helping you, whatever you want to do? Okay, so that's our GitHub Copilot, right? It's an artificial intelligence tool that was built by GitHub, github.com, GitHub Copilot. So once you Google it, I think you can install it here. You can install it to your VS Code directly. So just install it to your VS Code directly, and then you'll be able to use it. Basically, simple and straightforward. Extensions should be here. Copilot. Yeah, this is it. GitHub Copilots, right? So let's move on. Right, so the first thing we want to do is to import like models, right? From the models, import attendee, right? Now we want to get all our attendees. So what we'll do now is to create query sets, right? Attendees equals to attendee.objects.all, right? So this query sets will perform an operation on our database and will return all items under attendee.objects as well. So let me just quickly do a quick print so you see what I'm saying. So print, okay, so because this is a query set, right? This is a query set. We can, it's just like a list of attendees. So we can basically look through it, right? So let's do for attendee in attendees, right? Print attendee.first name. So if we run this, let me just return something here. Okay, so if we go to our URL and check our terminal, we are going to see the first name of every attendee. So let me just go to the URL, and that would be /time. So it goes /time. We're seeing hello world because I'm returning hello world. Okay. Right, so we will see, you can see on our terminal, we have first name, test, Femi, yeah, blah, 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 all the names, right? So now what I basically want to do is I want to display these details to a template, so like the page. So instead of returning hello world, I want to return all of the attendees. Right, cool. So So the first thing is we can't use our HTML from here. We have to create an HTML template, right? So we create a template folder in our applications templates, and we create another folder called attendees, and then we create our new file. We can call this index.html, right? So in this index.html, we want to create simple HTML page with the title attendees, and the body is going to be a list of attendee, right? HTML list of attendees. And to display it, we have to use Ginger templates in, right? We have to use Ginger templates in here. So basically what we're doing here is I'm going to explain to you. Right? So we are going to pass these attendees as a context, right, to this HTML field. So the Ginger templating can read that data, right? So we're going to do this. Return render index.html, right? So we are rendering the page, and along with the page, we are also rendering this data, right? So on the page, we are accessing the data by listing out the attendee's name, right? But in our database, we have two fields, right? We have first name and last name. So basically, let's render the first name. Cool. So now let's see what happens now. We're probably going to get an error with the templating, but let me see if it will work. So I restart my server, and let's go to the page. All right, and do this. Okay, so it says index.html template does not exist. Okay, so we have to set these. I think this should be attendees /index. Yep, attendees /index.html. Let's refresh this again. Yeah, cool. So it works now, and we can see now. We can see the list of attendees, right? Like straightforward. Each user from the database, we can see the first all their names, right? So let's return more data. We have in our models, we have first name and last name. So let's return the last name also. We'll go to the HTML and we return the last name, right? So let's do that. So if we refresh now, we should have, oh no, not like that. Okay, so let's just put a dash here and refresh. Yep. So we see the first name and the last name, first name, last name, first name, last name, right? So basically that is how the view function works, right? You can see the flow. the first thing we did, we requested, we made a request, right? We went to the time, and the thing triggers to this URL, and it goes to the view that is linked with it, and then runs this query sets and returns this page, renders this page along with this data that has been gotten from the database. And what we did on this page was to loop through, right, for attendee and attendee. For each item in the database, we are rendering the first name and the last name. And as you can see from the page, that is exactly what we have, because we have 5 users. We are seeing all the 5 names, right? So that is how view function works. They carry the logic of your code. They carry the logic of your of the page and or whatever you want to do. So right, you can read more about logic. You can read more about beg your pardon, on the Django documentation. So let me just do a quick search here. Django views. If you go to this page, right, so you would see like example. Yeah, so this was the example I made. You can just basically read about Django views here. And yeah, cool. So there are a lot of cool things you can do with Django views. Um, right, but basically this is like a basic functionality. You can also return JSON responses. If you don't want to return the page, you can return JSON response. You can return a JSON response. You can do all of that. So right, so that's it about views. Let me know if you have any question on YouTube. I think I have one person here on the call. Favor, if you have any question, let me know. And if not, I guess that will be it for today. Right. If you want me to push this to GitHub, just let me know so I can do that and send over the link. Probably I should do that now while I wait for the questions. Okay, indeed a purpose introduction. Oh, it's pretty big now. But I don't want to push my. Okay, so Imi is saying, can we go over modeling again? Yeah, sure. Let's go. Right. So basically, uh models are used to create like your data. They are used to represent like a single definite source of information for your data, right? So it defines, so this particular model is telling us, it's giving us data about attendees, right? It's telling us about attendees, and we can see each field represents a particular information about that attendee. This first field is telling us the name, the first name of the attendee, last name, and the time, and it was updated. So for each of these models, they are for each of this field, like a model has some classes, right? So the model module has name like classes and names for each field. So this particular first name field is a character field, which means it's sort of like a text field, a character field that takes valid strings like A to Z, 1 to like integers, takes any kind of special character, and we have set that to a maximum length of 30, right? Same thing goes for the last name. Now the created out field is a datetime field, which has uh, a parameter of auto now add, which is true. That is going to set the current time and dates to this created field. Once the user creates an attendee, it adds the current time and the dates it was created, right? So same thing for the updated field auto now, but the difference between auto now add and auto now is auto now add can actually be updated. That is, once a change is made to this model, the auto now will update, right? To update to the current time that change took place. But for auto now add, it is only when the model is created. That is when the auto now add will add a time, right? So yeah, basically that's the models are for storing your data. And cool. So let me know if that explanation is okay, but let me see if I've been able to successfully push this. CK. Cool. So how do I even share the link? I think I can paste it on. Yeah, just read this is the link. Right. Cool. So that's about it for today. Um, it's nice to see you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. And yeah. That's it. Bye. Bye, Favor.